name is Eric Gueller. I grew up in Mount Calvary, Wisconsin, across the park from the gentleman sitting across from me.
Neal Birschbach?
Some of my memories of our time as kids together. So one, this isn't a memory, this is something my mom always talks about, and it goes to how funny the Birschbach kids were. Was Amy and Sarah are the oldest two.
Yes.
And she has this very vivid memory of one of your sisters, Amy or Sarah, coming over to our house. Like you and Ted were over playing or something as well. I don't know. And she parked either Larry or Penny, who were strapped into the stroller, parked them right in front of one of the big trees, facing the tree in their stroller, and then left them to just come play. And like the baby was just sitting there staring at the tree, which is
probably
really
more
funny.
than happy. They short spanned at times. Yeah, I mean, I know times that we used to bring Penny and Larry in the stroller, and the Gueller house where they used to live on.
Jeff Obler and his wife, I don't know what his wife's name is.
Melissa.
Jeff and Melissa Obler live in my parents' old house.
And we used to take Penny and Larry, and we'd think with the stroller and little bikes, we'd put them on top of the hill, and it was very steep incline when we would let them go. And I think a couple times they ran into the garage door. They ran into the garage door, and we thought it was fun. Actually, they thought it was fun, too. Put me back to the top of the hill. Most kids would be like, you scared me. No, more adventure, more fun, you know.
So one of my most vivid memories of us as kids was this. It was playing Little League and Pee Wee baseball together. Like we were on the same team for all those years growing up together. And I always remember I would always come over to your house on the way to practice because the practice was just at the ball diamond, behind your house. So I would leave my house, walk through the park, and then come over to get you. And then we would go to baseball together. And I always remember I'd leave, and I'd learn to leave with plenty of time because I'd get to your house and you were never ready to go.
I would somehow lose my glove,
But this should be recorded for all posterity. Everybody who's listening to this video needs to understand. So, like your parents' house wasn't huge. The three girls shared a room and the three boys shared a room. And I remember Ted and Neal and Larry's room was the messiest room I have ever seen in my life. I lost my glove. No, it was because your room was so messy.
Oh yes, very
that
much.
There was heaps of laundry everywhere.
We always blamed each other.
And it would be so I would come to pick you up for baseball practice, and I would spend 15 minutes sitting on your bed, waiting for you to find cleats and
shirt,
a
jersey,
hat. And usually you were wearing like Ted's cleats or Larry's. Like it was just all. It was a complete free for all in that room.
We
was
needed
amazing.
the same uniform, so we could just, okay, I'm going to use his because we play on different teams.
Yeah.
We played baseball like 24/7. It'd be when the sun came up during the summer. We'd play like 10-inning games, and then everybody go for lunch, come back, and play.
Remember we would park our bikes
to make a backstop.
And it would be all the neighborhood kids. So there'd be like 10 or 15 bikes parked behind home plate, and that was the backstop. And then remember the ball would always find a way to get through.
Yep.
And we would sneak through the bottom between two tires. And you're like,
and we would put them so it'd be like interlapping. You would overlap them. So
and it was like Mike Obler and your brother Ted and Tom Atkinson and
Chad, Corey Weber,
and the Dallin
boys, yes. Keith Obler,
Jason Petrie, remember?
Yep.
Larry and my brothers would start playing eventually.
Yep.
Just a ton of neighborhood kids. Jason Wagner, I don't know if you already said his name. I remember he was always the best.
Yeah.
He was always really good.
Yep. He was a little bit older than us, but he could hit the ball. And Robin Schrage and Joel Schrage.
Yeah.
I mean, these guys here are our age. They're about 7-8 years older. We would always see how to get on the team and play with them. And, we were always the smallest. And, I mean, I'm just thinking
but
right
the
now.
Best. We were amazing baseball players.
Yes, we were. And I remember when we used to play football behind my house.
Yeah.
And
oh my God.
Joel Schrage, which his name is Beef Schrage, is a very big gentleman and always was.
And
He
Neal
would
and I
always-
were
he would-
like,
yeah.
it was all like Ted and all.
Oh.
It was we got involved at a
Yes.
young age,
Yes,
so we
we
were
were
the
7,
youngest
8
ones.
years younger than everybody else and smaller.
And they were playing tackle, and
tackle
oh
football.
my God, did
Yes.
my parents hate that?
Yeah.
Like I would get yelled at so much, Neal, for playing
Yeah.
tackle.
Yeah.
They were like, you are not
No,
allowed to
no,
take
play-
tackle,
yeah.
especially with those guys.
Yeah.
But I would just
Well,
play
yeah,
because I couldn't.
Well,
Like,
they always took it easy on us. I mean, I was always get picked. We'd always get picked on Joel's team, and what Joel would do is he would block for us. He'd give us the ball, and we'd run behind him, and we'd kind of grab the back of his shirt and, hold his back. And, okay, which way are you going to go, Joel? I'm going the other way. Go
Yeah.
around and stuff. And it
those
was like-
football games behind your house,
Yes.
Neal, like the entire town of Mount Calvary would play.
Yes.
And
Oh,
like,
yeah.
that was, seriously, that's, when I
We-
think of childhood, that's what I think of, is
And
playing
we-
football and baseball behind your
we-
house.
Before, on Saturdays, we'd play right before the Badger game, stop for the Badger game, then play after. And honestly, I think the worst anybody ever had, I think somebody broke a finger. Nothing, I mean, and we hit pretty hard, and we played. I mean, I'm just thinking right now, guys would wear spikes. My brother would go barefoot. Ted would play barefoot. I run faster barefoot. And I'm like, really? These guys are playing with spikes. Oh, that's all right. That's all right.
Yeah.
It was.
Seriously, those are the most vivid. I don't know if the kids in Mount Calvary and stuff still do
I-
that, but
I-
like that was a thing
Yes.
for years and years and years. And then I also remember, we Gueller boys were such a part of that house. We never really knocked. We would just walk in.
walk in.
You just walk in, and like even if you weren't home,
Oh, yeah.
I have memories of like sitting around watching soap operas with your mom. Like your mom always watched
Yep.
Days of
Days
Our
of Our
Lives.
Lives, yes.
Half an hour later, I'm like, I don't even know where Neal is. He's not even here. On the flip side, so you over at our house playing basketball in our driveway. I think that was the other thing that we spent
With
all of our time doing.
cream of chicken,
Yeah,
which is Steve Gueller,
So yeah, my dad's Neal's nickname for my dad was Cream of Chicken.
because he tried to be Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and he wasn't very good. All he was his elbows and knees.
I remember that being, and
I
our
had-
driveway was such a hill that if you shot from the street, you were above
the rim. And it was
Amazing
closer
driving.
to the garage, so you couldn't really drive. And we're both left-handed dribbling, so you were
You
cut
couldn't
off.
really
You're
drive
cut
on
off.
the
You're
left.
cut off because
Yeah.
Steve would push you out of bounds or push you into the tree. And,
So there was a big evergreen, or
yes.
there was an evergreen
Green.
right
it was
behind
small.
the
It
hoop.
was small at the beginning.
Because that tree is so big
Yeah.
now. I was like, wow, I can't
I
believe
think
how
you
much time
planted
has
like
passed.
what, second or third grade. I think it was like a little tree that you got from school to plant for Arbor Day, something to plant, and I remember playing basketball. We had to stay away from it because we couldn't tip it over because Steve had to have it grow straight up. We would run into it and we're like, oh, hopefully Steve doesn't see that.
I know, my dad is so particular
Yes.
about his stuff.
Oh yes.
I'm excited for him to hear this.